I'm Taryn.
And I'm Ange, and we are the two co-founders of the Atelier Collective. We're here at the Fairmont Royal York in downtown Toronto, and we've been interviewing inspirational women who are changing the game.
We're so excited to share this with you for International Women's Day as we raise the tide for all ambitious women in business and impact the next generation of women.
Hi everyone, we are so excited to be sitting here today with Brandi Leifso, the CEO and founder of EVO Beauty Group. So EVO Beauty Group is a portfolio of conscious lifestyle brands and is on a mission to break stigmas, shatter glass ceilings, and earning recognition from Vogue, the New York Times, and Elle, just to name a few. Brandi has also been on the Atelier stage at our event at home this past May 2019. So we're so excited to have you back here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm a big fan of your guys's, so yeah, it meant a lot to us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So you have an incredible life story that led you to the $1 million beauty business that EVO is today. Can you share it with us?
Yeah, so before I started EVO, any story should start at the beginning. So the story starts at the very beginning. When I was 6 months old was the first time that I lived in a shelter. And while I was there, obviously I was too young to really remember that, but then later on in life, I found myself living back in a shelter when I was 21 years old. And I was there due to leaving and making the choice to leave an unhealthy relationship. And I became pretty obsessive over how could this happen to me, because my life wasn't the stereotypical scenario that you would think that I would be living in a shelter. Yeah. And so I became somewhat obsessive over the statistics of, how many women this happens to, how many people this happens to, because it's not just a female problem, it's a societal challenge and issue. So I discovered at that time that 70% of children who grow up in homes that experience violence and challenges end up either being abused or an abuser. And those hereditary patterns are something that's very difficult to escape, even if you've made drastic changes in your life. And so while I was in the shelter when I was 21, I was getting pretty deep into these thoughts and these self-studies, really just to distract myself from what was going on in my life. And so another thing that I became obsessive in was watching YouTube videos to pass the time. And so I taught myself how to use Photoshop on YouTube. And then I photoshopped an entire catalog of makeup products that didn't exist. And then I took that catalog from my bootlegged version of Photoshop and shopped that catalog around to local boutiques. And I had no products, so no samples. And to my surprise, people bought products. So I was able to pre-sell the products, and that's how I got myself on my feet, and then bootstrapped the company and led it in 5 years from a $15 living in a shelter to a $15 million company.
Wow, that is absolutely inspiring. So how did you find the power within you to go from such a difficult place to then founding this multi-million dollar company?
I think that that's honestly something that I ask myself frequently too, because in those moments, it's not like I was like, get out of bed, Brandi, find your inspiration. You're inspired by, the beauty of just everyday things like flowers today. That is not where your mind is at least where my mind was at when I was in survival. It's like, okay, how am I going to eat today? How am I going to get through this? How am I going to get out of bed? But honestly, in those moments, I made it about something that was bigger than me. And although now I've become really comfortable for the most part in sharing my story, the reason why I share my story now is because it's not about me. It's been amazing how many people have actually come forth by me being vulnerable and sharing my story, how many people have come forth to share their story, and it's actually helped my healing and helped me recognize that although I felt very alone, and at times I still do because of the drastic changes that have happened in my life, that I'm not alone at all, and that it's such a frequent occurrence that people have such challenges in their life. They just often don't find the vulnerability to make their skeletons dance and make it their superpower. So a lot of people make these kinds of challenges in their life their hindrance instead of making it their superpower. And I was able to identify that and make it grow this company by just simply being vulnerable and connecting people through beauty.
That's amazing.
That is so powerful, Brandi. That is incredible.
Thank you.
Wow. Purpose-driven companies are our generation's way of using ambition to change the world, and EVO is an incredible example of a company that gives back. Can you tell us about the causes that EVO supports and why you find it important to specifically give back to women's organizations?
Yeah, so when I first started EVO out of the shelter, we donated $1 to every product that we sold back into the women's organizations, particularly to YWCA and the Canadian Women's Foundation, which we still are actively participate in many of their thought leader active events in order to see women's equality forward. But we also now, so this year actually in 2020, we started doing a 1-for-1. So every time someone buys a product, we donate a product. And so we work with the Wood Green organization. They have the Homeward Bound program. And that program in particular, it's not so much to me that it's about helping women, but it's about helping the underdog. I think, and women are such a big population of that underdog.
Yeah.
And so what really excites me about the Homeward Bound program is that it's a program that has really taken in respect not to what people need right now, but what society needs to see ongoing change. And so the Homeward Bound program, they actually have, I believe they have about 70 participants at a time, and they're referred from shelters, so this is like second stage housing, and it provides housing for 4 years in a beautiful complex, as well as childcare, and really what the mission is to help them get a college education, and then get them into permanent job placement. And it's just an all-encompassing, thoughtful way to go about the world, because there's also help with PTSD and all the things that are barrier to entry to regular life. And those are things I've experienced as well in a really big way. So to see that there's an organization that thinks about it all-encompassing from a human perspective, but not just a statistic perspective, I think is a rare thing and pretty incredible. So that's an organization that's really dear to my heart right now.
Wow, that's incredible. So we're big fans of bringing kindness into the business world. So you've mentioned you've mentioned that as part of your plan to build a business with heart, your 2020 mission is 20,000 acts of kindness. Can you tell us where this came from and how are you going to achieve that?
Yeah, so where this actually came from was that we were having difficulties as a team collectively at EVO to be motivated in team meetings, to be honest, where we were like, okay, so now we're talking about our conversion rate, now we're talking about our sales to date and our monthly sales and how far away from our monthly goal. And like that just doesn't get us super, I mean, it's excited to hit goals or to miss them and find out how we can hit them next. But what really excited us from that is having a goal that had more purpose. And so that's where we really came up with the 20,000 acts of kindness, because it really fits all of our values. And so we are going to get there, hopefully with the help of the community. So what we're working on right now is, so we're doing 1-for-1, so we donate product, but also a number of other activities as well. So we have, like we're teaching different makeup courses, we're holding different community events at our office. We regularly will just do random acts of kindness in bringing coffee to people on our office floor, or things like that, just to get the community involved and change the way people are thinking. Because again, then back to those stigmas, people get so involved in their daily life, and those little, I learned firsthand from living in the shelter that those little acts of kindness can really change someone's day, and you never know what someone's going through. And so we just want to really live those values. And so we measure every single week, like where we're at in terms of those kindness.
Wow.
And we're finding a way to digitalize it by spring of this year so that we can actually be giving people points for being kind, and those points can then be used towards products. So we're figuring out a way to really embed that into our digital community as well.
Oh, how cool is that? I
love that so much. I got goosebumps by you saying that. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Wow.
That is so cool. What a way to start the decade.
I know.
So what's next for you and for EVO?
Yeah, so we're really excited to roll out some of these aspects that really embed our values into retail and direct-to-consumer sales, which is something that we haven't necessarily, we're just starting to see the uprise of really creating human companies that didn't exist before really this generation of entrepreneurs with purpose. So we're really excited to be at the forefront and participate in that business with purpose aspect. And we're really excited too to just get involved more in the community and have more community aspect to what we're doing online and offline.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So we are so excited to have you as one of our vendors at our HBC Hudson's Bay pop-up.
We're so excited.
My question was, how do you feel about being a part of it? I think you're excited.
We're excited. Yeah, we're so excited. We love the team over at HBC.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're amazing.
They're so amazing. They're actually at our HQ tomorrow.
Nice.
So we love them so much, and they've been such major supporters. And then tenfold to that, we love you guys. And so it was like a match made in heaven, and we were just so excited to be offered to participate in whatever you guys are doing there. And then as the details started to roll out, we're like, this is amazing. Yeah, we can't wait.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of that, and we can't wait to showcase you and your brand and all of the good that you are doing. So thank you for that.
Thank you guys so much.
Amazing. And if people are looking for EVO Beauty, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at EVO Beauty. That's EVIO Beauty.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Sounds great. Well, we can't wait to celebrate with you in March at the pop-up at Hudson's Bay. And thank you so much for coming out today and chatting with us.
Thanks for having us.
Much.